Hello, and welcome back to Ben's Rant Nation. I'm your host, Ben. Please comment below, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Getting into things. As some of you may know, I spent the last few months going to school board meetings over at the South Bend Community Schools District. The reason behind this is because a group of radical far-left activists from the South Bend community had the audacity to attend my school board meetings over at Penn Harris Madison, PHM, earlier this year. And they actually lectured my school board members on how to conduct business. Now, not all, but some of those political activists have continued to go to Penn Harris Madison school board meetings pretending to be experts in education, all while conveniently forgetting that 80% of their own students can't read. This is a direct reflection of their leadership in their community. But instead of owning up to their own obvious failures, they have decided to travel to other school districts and lecture them. So this got me curious. What are things like over at South Bend Community Schools? How do they conduct business over at their school board meetings? More importantly, why do far left political activists from that school district, some of whom actually worked for that school district at one point, feel openly comfortable lecturing one of the most successful schools in the state of Indiana? How delusional could they possibly be to think that they wouldn't get laughed out of the room given their school's inability to pass a basic audit, to teach their kids to read, or the fact that they constantly get busted violating Indiana's open door policies? I find it deeply sad that the people in this community can barely keep the lights on in this school, but yet they're lecturing other school districts to be just like them. I digress, because for the first time in Indiana state history, the state actually tried to replace their entire school board due to their disastrous and embarrassing lack of performance. So to understand things, I decided to go to a couple of these school board meetings. I spoke. I wanted to be there physically to experience what goes on in these meetings. The first thing that happens is I pull into the parking lot. And this is the first thing I see at the parking lot. Holy North Korea. These are the people who attend school board meetings in South Bend. So if you don't think school boards are political, think again. Turns out people in this community sport better far-left propaganda than they do in North Korea. It's a good thing that partisan politics and canvassing for the Democrat Party isn't their main priority. Anyway, I go in, I take a seat, I wait for things to begin. Right away, I notice there's something that's missing from other school board meetings, or other public meetings in general. While they do have an American flag present, unlike most public meetings anywhere in the state of Indiana, they gleefully skip the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, while the Pledge of Allegiance is not mandatory, it is a basic sign of decency. It's compared to and seen kind of in the same way of kneeling during the national anthem. It's disgusting. It's also a sign of a third world organization. Welcome to San Francisco Stand, Indiana. This is the first sign of a third world type of organization, except for the fact that most schools in third world countries actually perform better than South Bend community schools, possibly making this comparison an insult to third world countries. Anyway, right off the bat, I notice unprofessionalism with these school board members. They even laugh at public speakers like myself who disagree with them politically. Good evening. My name is Ben Dallas. Thanks for having me. Good night. While normalizing stunts like this that often go unnoticed. Also, there is an oversupply of photo ops to celebrate sporting achievements in special classes that only affect a handful of students. But what you'll never see mentioned is the reading proficiency rate that's been consistently ranked amongst the bottom 10% of all schools in the state of Indiana. In fact, since around the year 2013, they've consistently gotten worse with reading proficiency year by year. It's absolutely mind-blowing that this band of failed communists think that they're in a position to laugh at anyone given their performance. You would actually expect more decorum inside of a county jail, bottom line. After attending a few of their school board meetings, it was made abundantly clear that this school board isn't interested in fixing an already destroyed school district. Instead, they're more worried about covering their own asses and force-feeding their radical political agenda via restorative justice and anti-racist curriculum onto the students. They could care less if your children learn how to read or do math. They simply want to use your tax dollars for political canvassing that happens to benefit the Democrat Party. That way, corrupt politicians will continue funding this indoctrination camp that's disguised as a school.
My fifth and final point is this. The audit report was generated from failures on the part of the corporation. I apologize for the collateral harm done by the report. This harm would not have occurred but for failure in our system at the time. The lesson has been learned. We have tried to do better and will continue to do so. We need each other. Our students need us. So let us move together, forward, together, reduce risk of future harm, and do all we can do to help our students.
That about sums up everything I learned from attending South Bend Community Schools school board meetings. If you have any kids in that area, for the love of God, don't send them to that school. That's all I got for right now. Enjoy your weekend.